And they prepare the child. It's their job to prepare the child before they go out into the outside world. Because I know I go to Emerald High School, and it's not as rough as other high schools. Don't get me wrong. We have it pretty perfect there, but there are definitely some temptations and some bad things that kids don't even need to be in. You know, you always kind of wonder. So it's the family's job to prepare the child for the outside world so they can weather it and endure it. If you notice though, these blocks right here, these are your rules, and they don't bend. They just break. I'm not a strong guy, so I'm not going to try to be macho and try to break one, because I just end up hurting my fingers. And you know what? Let me tell you guys a story about bending the rules. For those of you who don't know, I live behind Westgate Mall. And behind Westgate Mall, in my neighborhood in Puckett West, is a ditch. It's a big ditch. And it's mossy. The concrete is mossy through it because all the sewage runs through it and the nasty stuff that I don't want to even talk about. You know, you step in it and you don't even want to look down because you're afraid you might lose your lunch kind of thing. Yeah, that's the stuff that's in that ditch. And that ditch is fenced in. And it has concrete pillars with fences, and everything is fenced in around it. It's very, very large. Anyway, my dad and I were coming home from the mall. We were on a health kick at that moment, so we thought we would ride our bikes there and back. Needless to say, we are not on that health kick anymore. And we rode near the ditch, as we always do, and my dad, he's on his... when Bike Corner was open, they had specialty bikes. He had a mountain bike, a giant mountain bike. The actual brand was giant. It was maroon. It still is maroon. What do you know? It had really good brakes, and I'm pretty sure he could, you know, climb up a mountain. But then again, it's my dad on it. Maybe not. And my dad stops his souped-up bike, turns it, like screeches to a stop like you're supposed to on a motorcycle, but my dad's not that cool. I'm just kidding, I love you, Dad. He stops it, and I'm on my little red line that I got from Bike Corner. I'm on my little red line, and I rode it so much that the wheels were bare and the tread was gone. It was literally just like a bald wheel. And I was riding my little red line with my little Hello Kitty helmet on. I'm just kidding, I could never wear Hello Kitty. I was all about the Power Rangers. And I had my little helmet on. That was a rule that we never broke. I always had to wear my helmet. I would get made fun of by the little kids, but I saw one of my friends fell actually, and he hurt his head pretty bad. Heard a story in second grade. He's like, "Oh, I should have been wearing a helmet." I'm like, "Oh yeah," but that doesn't have to do with it. So we go down to the ditch, but before we do, I don't want to, because it says "No trespassing" in big red letters. For those of you who don't know, my dad is a cop for the Amarillo Police Department. He is the public information officer. And he stops his big old bike. Again, for those of you who don't know, my dad is 6'1". He is a very large man. He stops. I'm like, "Dad, we're not supposed to go in there. We're not even, no. Well, let's not go in there. That's not cool. No." He's like, "Come on, I know the cop routes. They don't even come by this way. Come on, you can do it. You can do it." And I'm like, "Well, Dad, since you know everything and you're my dad, okay." I still think that. And we ride into the ditch. He's on his souped-up mountain bike that he probably, you know, he had filled with some kind of special slime or something that filled the wheels when he had a hole and stuff. He was biking along on his health kick, and he's like, "Come on, son." He can even like look back without hands and look at me, which is strange because I've never able to do that. And so I'm riding my little riding my little bare red line, and I'm going along, and the concrete again is mossy, and I slip. I turn the front wheel, and I just crash. Good thing I had my helmet, or I might not be here right now. Anyway, sorry, I just had to make my dad feel really bad. I'm just kidding, I love you. And I crash, and this entire side of my body just hurts. The entire right side of my body. And I get up. I didn't get any serious stuff, but you know, when you're like 10 or 11 and you get a bruise, you're gonna die. Yeah. And so my dad like races back to me on his mountain bike, and he, again, being the very large man he is, he picks up my bike and his bike and lets me rest on his shoulders. You see this. And he's doing the best he can. We get out of that ditch. I'm like, Dad,